Okay, good morning. This is Elizabeth Misservy with Thriving Results Coaching, and today we're talking about what makes a partner perfect. So we call our Facebook group for men Landing Your Perfect Partner. What the heck? Nobody's perfect, right? Okay, let's talk about what we mean by perfect. So when you come on the call, Darren, welcome to the call. Please announce yourself in the chat. That was perfect. So let's talk about what we mean by perfect, okay? I want you to compare this to the construction of a building. Not like a chicken coop that doesn't need a foundation, but maybe like a 3-story apartment complex, or the one I like to compare it to is a 5-story boutique hotel. So you've got what makes a boutique hotel perfect? Is it serving its purpose? Is it serving its intended purpose? Okay, it's the same meaning as the way we use the word integrity. We're talking about structural integrity. We're not talking about honesty or morality. No, what we mean is what is required for a result to be sustainable. So what is required if the result you're going for is a 5-story boutique hotel, then you need all of the pieces to go in that would create that in reality. And when that result is present, it has integrity. So let's say you only pour a foundation. You make these grand plans, you're going to build this beautiful building, but you run out of money after you put the skeleton up. You know, I don't know what you call the metal skeleton of a building, but you know what I'm talking about. Yep, and then you run out of money. So does that result have integrity? No, it doesn't. Not because the building's wrong or it was dishonest. It's because it was missing some of the required components to create the result desired. Now, when it comes to a perfect partner, it's the same thing. What we mean by perfect is a partner which aligns to creating a healthy, thriving partnership with you as an individual. So there's 2 parts. There's components that are universal to any thriving relationship. And there's components that are individual called compatibility with you. And I'm talking to whoever's listening, you individually. So a perfect partner for you would not be a perfect partner for me. So there's universal components that without which you cannot have a healthy relationship. And then there's individual components that are like, is this partner's qualities and values aligned with your life goals? They're very individual. So there's compatibility, not only like personality compatibility, not only goal compatibility, which is important, lifestyle compatibility, and then you've got values compatibility, and I could go on. So there's 2 aspects to the perfect for you partner. And this is in response to a comment made in our Facebook group for single men only by Jeremy. Thank you for sharing, Jeremy. And you said quite a bit of stuff that I'm going to reference just to expound on this concept of what is perfect for me. So do you guys see, or whoever, Darren, do you see that when you have certain goals in life and your partner's qualities do not support those goals, that she is not compatible for you? Even if you love being around her, even if you fall in love with her, even if you feel profoundly connected to her, she is not aligned with the goals you say you want to cause in the world. So there are many layers and levels of what we're talking about when we say perfect for you. And we're not talking about some illusion of perfection. We're not talking about she looks like, this star that I have a crush on. Now, she could look like that star. and be compatible. But that's not what I'm talking about by perfect. It's not an illusion. It has to do with integrity of the relationship being able to get better over time. Now, if a relationship is getting better over time, we call it a thriving relationship. And we've created a model for you and what the components required are to create and build a thriving relationship so that everyone in the world can now build a thriving relationship. And I'm going to share a link with you where you can actually download that for yourself. And we've just updated our model. So even if you have downloaded this in the past, the explanation now goes into practical application. Sorry. Here we go. Just trying to find a link for you. There we go. So Darren says, if I'm with the wrong person, it feels like I have to work twice as hard to achieve my goals. It's not a feeling. It is actually a fact that sometimes you might have to work twice as hard, and sometimes you might just have to give up your goals. And the problem in a sick relationship, or one that doesn't support both parties, so maybe the relationship supports sometimes, for example, one partner is contributing a lot and they're going to work and they are coming home and they're cleaning the house and they're helping take care of the kids. And the other partner is struggling with mental illness. So they're being supported, but they're draining on the other. So this partner's being supported, this partner's being drained. Okay, that's not sustainable. You have to put in supports to make that situation thrive over time. If one partner is being supported and one is not, that doesn't work to have a lifelong, amazing, passionately connected, lasting relationship. And that's what we mean by thriving. Okay, now, let's see. Let's talk about the components that are universal and the components that are individual. So when you download our thriving relationship model, you're going to see that there's 3 foundation pieces. Those are universally required to have a healthy, thriving relationship. Now, let me clarify this, okay? So there was a cute girl in a Facebook group I belonged to recently who said, I asked my dad, how my parents had been married for 40 years. And he said, well, the two of them never both wanted a divorce at the same time. Okay, so this just highlights that just because a relationship has longevity does not mean that it supports both partners. It does not mean that it's profoundly connected. It does not mean that it's feeding your soul. Okay, what I'm talking about is a particular kind of relationship that gets better over time, leaving both partners seen, understood, respected. Not every moment, it's life. There's a dance with life, but over time, it's just getting better and better in general. So the components that are universal are the foundation pieces. Number 1, structural integrity. Number 2, 100% ownership. Number 3, coming from a blank slate. All of these are required. And the good news is they're individual work. So if you're single right now, that's good news for you. You should dive in. Assuming you want a thriving relationship, you should dive in, immerse yourself in developing your personal integrity. It's all in the explanation what I'm talking about, because I do not mean honesty and morality. Okay. Those are aspects of the structural integrity. Like morality is an aspect, but it's not, that's a different meaning, that kind of integrity, than what we're talking about. It means honoring your word rigorously honoring your word and cleaning it up every time you fall down about keeping your word. Okay, so integrity, 100% ownership, which is extreme ownership. There's a book called Extreme Ownership I recommend. It's written by a former Navy SEAL. And the idea is you are the cause of every result in your life. And the final component of the foundation is called blank slate. And what that means is you can come newly to someone that you've known for years, like you never met them before, and see who they are right now without judgment, without condemnation, without putting them on a pedestal. Just see who they are in reality. So those are the 3 layers of the foundation for you to be a perfect partner. Okay? So to attract the perfect for you partner, you want to have these pieces in place. If you're not single and you want to be in a thriving relationship, you can still put these pieces in your individual life, and they are required. If you do not take 100% ownership, which is, by the way, counter-instinctual for women, so counter-instinctual. But if you don't do that, you cannot come fully to the relationship already whole, complete for yourself. Like, you're already whole and complete. You're already perfect, but you're never going to feel that way unless you do the work required to lay these foundation pieces in your own life. And once they're in, now you can show up. So both people in a partnership get supported. That's thriving. Okay? Now, the components that are individual, we don't even need to talk about until you've dealt with the foundation. So please go back and rewatch the video, download the model, and put those in. Okay? And please let us know that you did that. We put these out for the world to try and make a difference for people. So it's very fulfilling for us to hear, like, someone made progress, someone changed their life with these amazing tools. Now, that said, once you have begun to establish rigorously honoring your word, standing that you're the only cause of results in your life, and coming newly to every moment, those are the foundation pieces. Now what is possible is for you to attract someone truly compatible, someone whose qualities, like their traits, their characteristics, number one, that you can elicit their good qualities, the best of their qualities, and number two, that their qualities can support your life goals, that they can leave you nurtured, fed. So in case there's any women watching this, I just want to clarify that I know there's no women on the call, Darren, but if they watch it in the future, for men, having a woman's energy around them is actually like a fuel. It's like food, ladies. It's not exactly the same for us. I mean, it's very satisfying, but it's not the same to have a man around, okay? So guys, you want to attract a healthy, responsible woman with personal integrity at the level of honoring her word. You want that, you got to do it yourself. And then you have to get clear on the kind of qualities that would support your life goals. There's some work called Get Clear. That's actually a phase of building a relationship, as you individually get clear. And then you've got to send a signal out, an effective signal. And this is one of the biggest things we walk our clients through. Send an effective signal that calls forth and pulls towards you the right women while pushing away the wrong women. You want to push away women who really truly believe they are victims. You want to push away women whose qualities are going to make your goals twice as hard in life. You want to attract women who naturally inspire you to be bigger, better, move faster. You want to, bring women who inspire you to feel fulfilled as a man. Okay, so this is what we mean by perfect for you. A partner with whom it is possible to build a thriving relationship that gets better for the rest of your freaking life. And what comes to mind is, yes, I'm talking about monogamous between men and women because that's what I specialize in. So this pertains to that for sure. And I don't know how it would pertain to other forms of relationships. There are others, right? But in particular, to a man and a woman in a monogamous lifelong partnership, these principles absolutely work. They're fantastic. They just makes me happy to think about the clients that I've seen transform their marriages. So anyways, that's where you get that like smile over here. And yeah, so any questions, Darren? That's all I was going to cover today. Perfect for you partner. What the heck do we mean by that? Nobody's perfect, right? Yes. there are people that are perfect for you and your life goals. And it has nothing to do with not being a human and not having weaknesses. It has nothing to do with that. So Darren, I'm going to give about 60 more seconds to see if you have any thoughts or questions. And then if not, we're just going to wrap up for today. And thanks for being on the call. It is so refreshing to be able to speak to a human being for me. And sometimes there's a lag in the comments. Okay, Darren says, how early can you make that judgment about whether she is perfect for you or not? So Darren, I want you to make that judgment before you're even talking to women. I want you to get clear about what you need. And if you've done the work to get clear about what qualities you require for your life goals, then I want you to identify them preferably before you meet her. So if you meet someone in person, like this is if you're using online technology, which I strongly recommend. You can meet so many women, but you need an effective filter for finding evidence of the qualities you're looking for. So assuming you're using dating apps, okay, which may not be the case. I know in your situation, you might actually be meeting in person. But if you're using a dating app or a website, you need tools to, and this is literally what we walk our clients through because it really takes something. We design communications and signals to find out before you go on your first date. Does she have your top 10 required qualities? Yes, I remember your spreadsheet, and we're not going to talk about that. What we do is we have required qualities and deal breakers. And then you've got to find evidence, not just her words. So what I mean by that is we all will cater what we say to try and win over the person we think we want. And what that ends up looking like is some deception, sometimes, lots of times. So if you really want to know the truth, you need an effective evidence-based, right? You need evidence-based evidence, like quality evidence, to tell that she has those qualities. And I recommend you do that before your first date. So by your first date, if you were using our program, you would have identified some evidence. You haven't proven it yet, but you've had some evidence of all of your 10 top required qualities and evidence that she does not have your top 3 deal breakers. Okay, great question. And that does, it is possible and it does take something. So that is how we do it. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on the call. So with that said, I am going to wrap up for today and we'll create another live call this week. I'm committing right now. Sometimes I only do 1 a week. We'll do 2 this week. Try to give you guys a little more notice so you can actually show up. Yes, it was my bad. I gave you I think less than 12 hours notice. So Darren, you're awesome for finding us and being on the call. And we'll talk to everybody else later.